Okay, okay. Uh, uh, Good afternoon to all. So I will be making a presentation on current disease scenario and management strategies to increase the profit in sugarcane agriculture. So coming to sugarcane, that is maximizing profit in sugarcane. This sugar managing diseases is an important area to be addressed, and that I probably through the course of slides you will come to know the importance of the diseases. So broadly, this lecture will cover on these following areas, that is on the disease scenario in the country, and to bit on a varietal breakdown, that is major emphasis will be on red rot and how the varieties were affected by red rot in different time of maybe different decades, and then overall impact of diseases. And in that we will talk, at least we have a detailed discussion on varietal degeneration caused by different viral diseases, and then disease management approaches, and where there will be a specific emphasis will be on healthy nursery program. So coming to the diseases, so you have sugarcane is a peculiar crop. So that since it is a vegetatively propagated crop, you have a variety of pathogens which affect sugarcane. So that's why in fungal diseases you can see all the stalk infecting diseases like red rot, smut, wilt, and set rot or pineapple diseases. And apart from that, there are certain number of foliar diseases, and though they are not widespread, but wherever they are occurring they cause a huge impact on sugarcane cultivation. And in bacterial diseases we have important diseases like leaf scald, raccoon stunting, and red stripe, and we don't see at least we don't discuss much in this lecture. And also and other disease like phytoplasma disease, the grass shoot, another important disease. And the lastly that viral diseases, but they are going to be a major impact that impacting diseases like yellow leaf mosaic and leaf slug in different viruses. And coming to disease scenario in the country, and probably you must have heard series of lectures on the sugarcane crop area and all. So Uttar Pradesh comes number one area production. So where the nearly more than 50% of the cane area is in UP state alone. But if you see the diseases, you have almost all the diseases whatever I listed in the previous slide. That is red rot, wilt, and also there are cases of red rot and wilt combined infections. Then smut, yellow leaf disease, cocobong. Of course, I restricted to the major diseases. And if you see that probably you are well aware that 0238 is a major variety, so that's why you are seeing 0238 everywhere, and it is susceptible to all these diseases. And where the incidents are, of course we will see in the subsequent slides on the spread of red rot in 0238. Coming to Bihar, here also the disease scenario is almost same, where red rot again is occurring in on the most of the ruling varieties. And similarly smut in a few varieties, wilt, cocobong, OLD. Of course the disease scenario is not that grim as compared to UP. UP we see very severe incidences of red rot and compared to Bihar. And in other states in the peninsular zone, Gujarat and Maharashtra, where the Gujarat we have red rot and wilt, smut, almost the varieties are almost all the varieties are having the diseases. Maybe the the disease severity may vary in variety to variety. Like smut, this particular variety CO 86002 or the CO SI 95071 and few other varieties, they record very severe incidence of smut. And Maharashtra, the disease scenario is different. We do not have much severe red rot incidents. Maybe for the last 100 years, we didn't come across the red rot. And we have other diseases, but like at least like smut, grass shoot, yellow leaf disease. But these foliar diseases are peculiar to Maharashtra, especially in the high rainfall regions like rust, brown spot. They are very common. Anyway, we will see some slides later. And also in Andhra and Tamil Nadu, here the disease scenario is same. And here this red rot were reported, but the severity is not very grave as like UP and Bihar. And apart from that, you can see all other diseases like smut, wilt, pockobone, OLD, grass shoot rust, all these other non-fungal diseases, and also the minor foliar disease also recorded. And apart from that, we have a disease scenario in Haryana, Punjab, and where this sugarcane cultivation is comparatively less. Coming to this, the impact of diseases I mentioned in the beginning. And in that, we will see whatever these are the information shared by ASRP centers from Uttar Pradesh, and there this is the scenario of red rot, especially in this area like Ajbapur, and where they have already recorded last year, and this year also they recorded severe incidence of red rot. So this is the data provided by again Shahjahanpur, where they have found the red rot up to 70-80%. In some places like Ajbapur, nearly 100% incidences were also noticed. And a major variety affected is 0238, and here and there and a few pockets. This variety is in a very small area, but still the variety has recorded red rot. Same thing, like same way, CO 08279 also, this recently released variety. This has also picked up a red rot. And same way, this data provided by IASR Lucknow, where they have seen red rot to varying intensities. And this is the scenario, and they have covered most of the sugarcane growing districts in the state. And you can see this couple of slides to show how this disease is destructive, and this impact is enormous. And you can see the field, even the eastern UP condition, like where the Suragi people have recorded. So this is the scenario, especially in the eastern UP, where the thousands of hectares have already damaged by red rot. So this impact caused by the disease. So you can see the map of Uttar Pradesh, where this disease started in 2017 in waterlogged areas in the eastern UP. And over the years, it has now the central UP also having severe incidences of red rot. And also here western UP, till last year it was free, but now this current season, our scientists have reported that already there is a moderate incidences of red rot in western UP also. So that means this slowly from the eastern UP, this disease must have spread to western UP. So there may be through seed movement or whatever it, or even that waterlogged condition would have favored that breakout, that is varietal breakdown. So this is the scenario, the current scenario of red rot in UP. And in Bihar also, you can see that various fields, not only 0238 and other varieties also, they have recorded red rot. And even not only red rot, you can see smut also in severe occurrence in 2-3 varieties like COH 167, COP 2061 or 0238 also. This is the scenario where that smut also alarmingly present in Pusa region, and Punjab also, especially this variety CO 89003. All of a sudden they found this varietal breakdown. So suddenly this variety picked up red rot, and also this variety in the smut also they have recorded in different varieties. So this scenario about red rot in Punjab. And coming to tropical region where Gujarat condition, there also they have reported very severe crop losses due to red rot and wilt, and in some cases they found combined infections of both pathogens. So you can see the devastating effect of these stock diseases. And in tropical, say especially Tamil Nadu and Andhra, relatively free from severe red rot, but here and there we record red rot in many varieties, especially Tamil Nadu COC 24 and few other varieties. And if this newly released varieties CO 6022 also, red rot was noticed in both in Tamil Nadu and also in Andhra Pradesh. So this scenario about red rot. And as I mentioned earlier, we will discuss some aspects on varietal breakdown. Since that it is an important area, we shall focus on what is a varietal breakdown. In the varietal breakdown means this specifically we use the term with regard to red rot. So you know that many of the breeders are attending the training course. So most of the varieties are all the varieties which we are releasing for commercial varieties, they possess resistance. So without MR or RR, we don't recommend any of the varieties for commercial cultivation. But what is happening over the period of time, maybe in 1 year, 2 years, or after 10 years, and almost most of the varieties succumb to the pathogen. So the duration may be varying according to place. Like that, many this if you see of subtropical region after 2010, we have witnessed a severe breakdown in these varieties. Probably those who are familiar with the UP and Bihar situation or Eastern UP, these two COSC 92423 and COSC 95422, these two were the reference, that is standard varieties. Even ASCRP also, these are the reference varieties or a check, a zonal check. These were the popular varieties also, both in mid, late and early group. But these varieties started picking up red rot from 2010-11 onwards. And similarly, other varieties. And even COS 8436, I have recorded the disease in 2009 and in Karnal area. And subsequently, we found red rot in other states, especially in Western UP and Haryana. Same way, this CO 89003. The last 2 years, we have seen red rot in Haryana as well as in Punjab. And you can see all other varieties. And probably you are familiar with the scenario of 0238, which is the single largest variety occupying in the country. But as I mentioned earlier, this variety has picked up red rot in a very small scale in 2017. And this area has gradually increased. And now we have discussed about this current scenario. So this is the situation. So that means, so all these varieties, including 0238, were all were resistant to red rot. But what happened afterwards? So continuously the pathogen is making attempts to bring down the resistance. So that means it makes the incompatible host pathogen interaction to compatible host pathogen interaction. So that is again the level of epidemics, whether it is like a pandemic stage, like as we witness in Eastern UP, where that no field is free from red rot now. So that is the scenario that we say as a pandemic. Normally we say epidemic means wherever the crop is there, the disease will be there. But the pandemic, where the completely, it is almost 100% of the area got affected. And another thing, if you come to tropical region, there also you can see that those who marked in red. You see that Andhra, of course, all these varieties were under cultivation, and most of them were earlier also, even before 2000 also, we know many of these varieties were sustainable, but still they were under cultivation. And maybe like variety like COV 894 101 picked up red rot, but that area also come down drastically. Whereas the case, the Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, the situation was different. So after the historical red rot epidemics of 1990s, CO 8632 was introduced, and that variety has become popular, and maybe has occupied more than 80% in some of the factory areas. But there are, of course, there are good number of varieties were introduced time to time. So like CO 19006, 0022, COC 24, like that, several varieties, and many Andhra varieties were also pumped in. So what happened that none of the varieties stood in the field. Of course, these other varieties, which are underlined, these are all known sustainable varieties. In spite of our, we didn't recommend all these varieties, but the industry people have promoted these varieties, and it's when you promote sustainable varieties, we cannot say that they are all varietal breakdown. But other varieties have been rated as resistant for our current the pathotype, that CF06. But over the period of time, they picked up the disease. So that's how the breakdown effect has been recorded in these varieties. For example, COV 09356 or the 2003 V46. So this variety even today it remains free from red rot in Andhra. Whereas this in Tamil Nadu, wherever it is cultivated, so the crop shows red rot. So that means the pathotypic variation is there between Andhra and Tamil Nadu. This compatible pathotype has emerged in this part of the country, so that has knocked down the variety. And of course, in Orissa and Gujarat, almost scenario is same, and variety is also not so different. So this even when we are talking about varietal breakdown, there was practically no study was made how really it has happened. And we have conducted a series of studies in the last 10-15 years at Sugarcane Breeding Institute, and a detailed work we have taken up. And you can see this is actually we have taken nearly 32 varieties which are varying in their resistance and inoculated the new pathotypes that is isolated from CO 94012. So that is this is the pathotype that is CF06 or this the isolated from COC 671. This was being used for varietal screening, whereas this the new pathotype CF94012 isolated from CO 94012 from Tanjavur area in Tamil Nadu. And the variety, the set of varieties which are varying in disease resistance were inoculated. You can see this part A, that is the resistant varieties like BO91 and COS 8436. Where there you can see that is actually there is attempt even this isolate the new isolates making some efforts to increase its pathogenicity. Whereas in the case of MR, that moderately resistant varieties, almost all these cases you can see this number 2, where there is, you can see very clear that resistant reaction to moderate, that susceptible reaction. In many cases there is increased pathogenicity, you can see, if not is susceptible, at least moderate susceptible reaction. And if you take up these moderate susceptible varieties like CO 1148, this is a pathotypic reaction of CF671, whereas the CF9412 totally knocked down the variety. So that means this new pathotype has evolved and is able to knock down these MS varieties. Not only this, you can see all other varieties like 94003, CO 80032 and COSI 6. Even you must have come across red rot in CO 8032 in few places in Tamil Nadu, Andhra and Orissa, and in Gujarat also they have reported. So this would be like what has happened to other varieties where a pathotype has evolved, but it is unable to knock down completely as in the case of other varieties. So like CO, this other CO 06022, where the totally it was affected. So if you come to the susceptible varieties, even in the susceptible varieties, if you see, and this new pathotype has caused more severity. So this you can see all these susceptible varieties, and except this particular variety, subtropical variety COS 96268, where I found this particular old pathotype CF671 still more pathogenic. So that shows that again the differential pathogenicity pattern, and overall we see an increased virulence over the existing pathotype. So this is how then this is actually 7-8 years study. Based on that, the conclusion was made on pathogenic virulence in red rot and how the this reference pathotype has lost or losing its virulence, and whereas the new pathotype gains the virulence. So this overall summary of the study is very clear that CF671, though it is a virulent, we cannot say it is a less virulent and a virulent, but it maintains the virulence. Whereas for the new varieties, whatever we have screened, it has exhibited resistant reaction or moderately resistant reaction. And whereas in the case of, since this isolate was collected during almost 30 years before, so this is what then 30 years, so many things have happened in the field. So we have seen so much of variability in the pathogen in the field, and that's why whatever the varieties which are released in Tamil Nadu, and none of the varieties stood in the field. So this is the reason that we have got a new pathotype that has able to totally cause breakdown effect. So this is what that first experiment that then subsequently this new isolate was designated as a new pathotype, designated pathotype of CF12. So that's what it is recommended in ACRP also. And then subsequently also we have studied. So if that was where we have inoculated the pathogen by plug method of inoculation, if that is the case, and how really it is happening in the field, nobody is going there with the inoculum and inoculating by plugging or making injury and inoculation. So that is what. So we have again made a detailed study. So again we have
slide presentation over, sir. Instead of that you are looking.
Okay.
Instead of slides, you are seen, sir.
Slides are not there. Hello.
You are seeing now in the main screen.
But you don't see the slides, sir.
No, sir. We are
Just
not
a
seeing
second.
any slide.
Just a second.
No, are you seeing the slides now?
No, sir.
No. Can you present now? Can you present now? It stopped.
I don't know what has happened. Now?
Can you present now, sir?
No, yeah, it is. I am seeing you are no longer presenting. Your screen is still visible, but someone else is presenting.
Basically, I told the participants not to start presentation. Somebody accidentally started presentation. Can you start presenting again? Present now. Click on present now and choose entire screen again.
Yeah, now. Yeah.
Again, a request to all the participants. Please do not start presenting. This disrupts the session, please. Sir, continue, sir. Click on the slideshow. It's visible now.
Yeah. Okay, it's okay now.
Yeah.
So this particular the second part of the study to work on, that is a varietal breakdown to retract. So earlier study was on our field study at where we inoculated the different the two pathotypes under a plug method. So here the second part of the study to know or that it is something like simulating the condition akin to field conditions, where what we did. So there we used two kinds of inoculum. One is applying the inoculum in the soil without making any injury or without making, we just provide the inoculum in the root zone. That's all. The second part is the plug method of inoculation. So the study was in such a way that is in the under field condition, the host, that is sugarcane varieties, they are getting exposed to the inoculum which is carried through irrigation water or rainwater or maybe through air to a limited distance through air. So this is how, but the same way we have applied the inoculum in the root zone without making any injury. In that again we have used around 10 pathotypes and against another 10 or 12 varieties, and where we have found this this observation for the first time, that whatever this MR or some MS varieties which we have found with natural incidents in Tamil Nadu and Andhra, and many of these varieties picked up infection against few of the pathotypes by when we inoculate by soil inoculum. But whereas in the plug method, still it remains to be MR or MS. So that means, so these varieties, at least pathogen has evolved such a way that it is able to make infection from the soil. From the soil it was able to cause infection. So that's how whatever I have told, that is assumed. So that was proved in this part of the study. So this is about this demonstrating the varietal breakdown through the two kinds of pathogen inoculation methods. So coming to the smut epidemics, of course, there, as I mentioned earlier, it is there, especially ratoon crops. Many places we found this epidemic occurrence across the states, and it is both earlier in some 10 years before, smut was not a serious issue in subtropical region, but now there also we found, especially after release of 0238, and most of the places we see smut, especially in ratoon crops. And wilt actually, by north or south, we have found, especially in Delta region, very severe occurrence of wilt in many states. So even upland conditions also, we have seen severity of wilt in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. And this is what this even totally upland conditions. So they here the main reason we found the repeated use of the same seed, and slowly the pathogen gains entry, and the inoculum is available or carried through seed cane. So that was responsible for the disease breakout in upland conditions also. And these are the scenarios we don't miss when you go through sugarcane fields. And many places I have seen that so much of canes are left after harvest. So that means we will harvesting so much of dead canes are there. And mostly the dead canes means the left in the field means wilt affected canes, or some cases pineapple disease affected canes. So this is the scenario invariably we see mostly in the delta region and subtropical regions. And this, again the data provided by Anakapalli Center, where that very severe incidence of wilt was recorded in some of the varieties in Andhra. And coming to the moving from stalk diseases to foliar diseases, probably now everyone maybe must have heard the term pokabong. And literally it means the twisted top. That's what you are seeing in the two pictures, left and right, both the twisted top with here even that growing tip that also got damaged or that is totally rotten. And same case in this here also the tissue damage is there. And many earlier when we reported the disease, a minor disease, and nobody took care, and we advised them that this is serious, going to be a serious disease. But what really it has happened that whether we don't know whether it is due to climatic change or change of varieties. And we have seen several varieties, and many of the varieties under cultivation are susceptible to red rot. In the All India Coordinated Research Project also, most of the centers have reported to me that they have the severe occurrence of the disease in some of the varieties, if not all. And there are some varieties who are showing very severe incidences. That's what you can see. And probably you must have heard these terms acute phase, chronic phase and all, where this now whatever you are seeing, these are all the acute phase, where it leads to top rot symptom. And sometimes even if there is recovery, there is a knife cut symptoms you may see. And these are the different symptoms which you are seeing. And even many places they have resorted to fungicide spraying also. And peculiarly, these last 2 seasons in Tamil Nadu, we have seen different kind of epidemic outbreak of pokabong that nobody has reported so far. You can see this type of symptoms. Actually, you can see the growth. Of course, there is no top rot symptom, but what happened that growth is stopped at some stage, and then the nodal sprout. You can see the nodal buds are sprouted. So this how that after 6 months there was no growth, and we incidentally we also found a new mealybug in the spindle. So that is also actually aggravating the disease incidences. And as well, whatever you are seeing is a variety CO6022. This variety is highly susceptible to pokabong and wilt. And you can see this particular variety. You can simply, if you see the field as it is, you may not say it is a sugarcane field. It will, almost apparently it will look like a Cambonapier grass. So that is the extent of damage which we have seen several hundreds of acres. So this is the condition which we have seen in the central Tamil Nadu, where also that time is coincided with the hot summer. So you can see this type of crop damages first time we encountered in Tamil Nadu. So that's what. Then the another part of the study, not that we have simply made observation and didn't do further. And this study was done what really the pathogenicity and what the epidemiology of these diseases, both pokabong and wilt, since both are caused by the fusarium diseases. You can see this. Initially, you will see the symptoms like this, and the later acute phase, you will see the top rot symptom. And in some varieties, especially some varieties, you will see after this you will see wilting. So this is how you will the disease progress will be there, and later you can see total death of the canes. So this is how we have first found the link between these two fusarium diseases. So though we have said pokabong as a foliar disease, it is no longer a foliar disease. It is actually the inoculum is carried through sets. When even the systemic infection, this leads to pokabong appearance, and also vice versa also. The inoculum carried through air, so they infect the crown region and then cause top rot symptom, and subsequently that you can see, so much of that like breakout, there is a breakdowns. The canes are totally lost. So this is how this totally detopped canes you can see. So this is how these two diseases are interrelated, and we found, and we also published this information. You can see that's what I was mentioning, the top rot symptom. You can see see this but actually the sprout, the axillary bud sprout, and you can this top rot symptom from the top rot. you can see inside, if you see wilt. So this is how, when there is a Poco-Bong incident, you are likely to get wilt also. This is the scenario which we already demonstrated. So this is another issue that I asked our ACRP colleagues also to look into this aspect. So are critically monitor how, when there is a wilt epidemic is there, and is there how this Poco-Bong incidents and wilt are related. And these rust incidents probably in especially in Karnataka and Maharashtra, we have come across, into some extent in Andhra also, we have come across the disease outbreak, not regularly, and some season we see there is occurrence of the disease, some sustainable varieties. For your information, we record two kinds of rust, that is brown rust and orange rust. Both are caused by the Puccinia species. This is caused by Puccinia melanocephala, and orange rust is caused by Puccinia kuhni. And this Karnataka, South Karnataka, we recorded this type of breakout in 2 seasons before. So that's almost, this particular variety is totally wiped out. So you can see when this is the level of rust infection, and then the crop loss is almost certain. So this is what, this particular variety is CO 62-175, and that was a earlier ruling variety that remained free from the rust. So that's why it was a ruling variety, and this the new varieties which were introduced, they picked up rust, and then the variety was removed from cultivation. So this is the scenario. And coming to another disease, foliar disease, that is brown spot. Again, it is caused by another disease pathogen, that is Cercospora coffey. And you can see this the disease is confined to COM 0265. And this is how this one particular this incidents where what we have even these are the things I have recorded during last cropping season in North Karnataka, where almost except that leaves inside the spindle, all the leaves are also severe brown spot incident. So again, this you can see varietal difference. Only this particular variety COM 0265 was sustainable, and that is actually now this is the problem. And I also reported in recently in Journal of Sugarcane Research. So this is how actually we failed to notice the problem at the early stage, and the disease may be confined to one particular variety, but slowly the pathogen gains or takes advantage to cause disease in the other varieties. Now they have reported, Maharashtra, they reported this there, the disease is there in CO 8032 also. Earlier, when I made a detailed field survey, 8032 alone was free from rust and brown spot. But now we record these diseases. So, but we don't remove these sustainable varieties, we perpetuate these varieties, and to cause this enormous damage to the farmers. So this is where this actually, this we are scientists also equally responsible. They should not recommend such varieties, but they always recommend that such varieties, and now that the entire ecosystem is flooded with the inoculum. So this is what it is happening. So moving on to viral diseases from fungal diseases, and this one disease actually you can see this new millennium disease, you can say. So the disease we recorded in 1999, we have recorded, and for then subsequently I made so much of, or even published many reports and also research papers on the virus, that associated virus diagnostics, and also etiology and epidemiology aspects. And you can see this is the peculiar symptom of the disease. Of course, I have presented this in many fora. And you can see this how actually in the, you see the second slide, this is the in totality of the OLD symptom. Wherever you are there, you go to sugarcane field now and you will see the symptoms. This is the right time to see the disease. And this is how now when I introduced this problem in ACRP, and the people were not familiar. But now almost all the pathologists in the ACRP centers, they are reporting about the problem of the disease. And when we will talk more on varietal degeneration caused by this disease, and not only this yellowing of midrib or drying from the mid tip, So here there are some cases you will also see that discoloration may be different, like reddish, pinkish red or purplish colors. So variable colors you will see. For example, the disease you will notice in 6 to 7 months in the severely affected cases. So now you see only the midrib yellowing is there. At the next stage that you are seeing very severe leaf drying. So this is the next next stage of the disease. And the later at the time of harvest, this is the total loss to the chlorophyll. Almost entire lamina is dried. So this is how it have been. Their sustainable varieties are there. The crop loss is near total. Of course, still you can harvest the cane. The cane you don't see any damage, but still the cane is alive. But there is a total loss for the crop, in the sense you cannot have ratoon crop here. And you can harvest, but the yield will be much reduced. And this is what the scenario which we have taken up, in the field conditions. We made detailed surveys, and this was even that ruling variety CO80 or 32. It was recorded severe outbreak of the disease. You can see this is the scenario. Instead of a green canopy, you will see that pale yellow, or this can see discontinuous green and yellow canopy. So this is how this the disease has affected the ruling variety in not only Tamil Nadu and many other disease varieties, and also in other states. Even Andhra also, still I can say that more that impact is seen in the state of Andhra. And Gujarat condition, in subtropical region, earlier people told there is no OLD. Even some people have challenged me. But even you can see, even today you can go and see in the sugarcane field. So this is the destruction this virus has caused in Shahjahanpur and other places wherever I have visited. And it's again the Gujarat condition. This is the case, peculiar case. So when the variety was released in 2000, so the variety was taken from Tamil Nadu, and after that there is no seed program. So this is how in 10-15 years that the seed almost totally degenerated. So that's why you are seeing a large epidemics of the disease. And then we have, as I mentioned earlier, we have conducted a series of detailed studies. And the impact of coming to the impact, it causes close to 42.3% loss. That's what in CO80 or 32 and 38.9% in COC 671. Maybe these are all controlled condition testing. By comparing under field condition, anyway, this loss could be around 20%. That's what in plant crop, and ratoon crop it may be more. And similarly, the juice yield also nearly 30% juice yield was also reduced. And we have found that what the physiology of the OLD affected plants. So whatever you are seeing, that major physiological that is, for parameters involved in photosynthesis, all the three parameters, that the photosynthesis, the carbon dioxide assimilation, or stomatal conductance, or the transpiration rate, all are significantly affected in the OLD affected case. The same is present in table also. So this is how most of the, you can see many of our ruling varieties are sustainable, and you can see anyway that is a loss of nearly 50%. So that's why you are seeing even some of the slides you will see in the coming slides, and that impact can be seen here. And you can see this is the current year field trial where we compared this OLD pre CO80 or 32 pre, that is tissue culture derived material, and this is a conventional seed with OLD. And you can see the last month stage in November middle. You can see this robust growth, even the flowering at this also arrows have already opened up. Whereas here still the plant is struggle to that the arrows are not at all really emerging. And this a couple of days before this photo was taken, you can see here the flowering is almost complete. Whereas here still in that beginning stage. So this is how you can see the canopy also, green canopy and stunted growth. So this is how this whatever you have seen under epidemic conditions, as I may shown earlier. So same thing we are witnessing, and this sort of close-up symptoms you can see. You can see this is how the crop is under the top leaves are unable to open freely, and this bunching and ultimately yellowing, and that's how this is the case in plant crop. If you go for ratoon crop, really this impact will be very severe. And you can see, even the plant crop, that cane growth, if you see a clump of healthy and OLD affected, and you can see the crop is still growing. And that year, that 2 years back, that there was no flowering. So that's why we could see there is a continuous growth, whereas here almost the leaf size is also reduced. And you can see the how far this cane, and what I found here, at a minimum of 4 to 5 nodes are reduced, and also the cane girth and internodal length also reduced. So this is what you can see in the cane internode weight from first to last, that you can see there is there is a lot of at least impact caused by the virus, yellow leaf virus, on the cane growth, that is internode weight, and correspondingly there will be juice content also reduced. That's what I mentioned, around 30% juice yield loss was we have seen. And coming to the other important disease, the grassy shoot. So this is actually a universal disease, and you can see again this major culprit is the unhealthy seed. So this is what we have. If you plant GSD, that a grassy shoot affected plant is a sets, you may see the disease almost entire. Wherever there is a seed cane infection is there, you will see the symptoms, and even matured cane also you will see the late expression of the disease, like that canopy that at least chlorotic leaves and bud sprouting. And in ratoon crops you can see that plenty of damage caused by the disease. There is a total loss when there is a GSD here. So there is no cane formation. That's how we are seeing. Same thing in different states we have recorded, and especially you can see the ratoon establishment will be very drastically affected. So these are the impact caused by the disease, phytoplasma disease. And mosaic, another important viral disease. Of course, it has been not recognized as a major disease. Maybe in some varieties we don't see severe infection, and some varieties we see very severe occurrence of the symptoms. Not that no, it may not cause impact. So that's how we have conducted some trials or very comparative studies. So there also we have found this impact. Like you can see, so mosaic means I need not explain what is mosaic. That is already, that is dark green and pale green patches of leaf lamina. So that's how, if you see these youngest leaves, they show the severe symptoms, and they are also the photosynthetically active leaves. So that's how then I will talk about degeneration, and that's how total degeneration occurs. So you can see the same variety, two sets of seeds, like this variety CO7014. So it is a healthy seed, comparatively healthy, not totally healthy, but whereas in a very young crop, that 4.5 months crop, you can see the canopy difference, and you can see when mosaic affected clones are showing or stunting, and that can be, you can see better, you can visualize here. This again, you can see if there is a severe mosaic, this is how you will see the symptoms. So some set of yellow canopy you are seeing in compared to normal variety where it does not exhibit severe mosaic symptoms. And this is how we can see this, as I said earlier, the degeneration. If the clone is susceptible to mosaic, there is no escape. You can see that on both sides, that the mosaic infected clone is sandwiched between these two healthy ones. And this is what, these are such of the situation we have witnessed in many places and many fields also. And in experimentally also, this was work done by us in a long, maybe 15 years back. And again, as in the case of CO8032 YLD free seed, here also the COC 671 and 740, we have taken two varieties for the experiment, CO 740. And you can see the virus-free clones have exhibited its vigor from the day one, that from germination onwards. And other case also, it is a normal seed also with mosaic also germinates, but the crop establishment is poor. At the time of harvest also, you can see, and this is a robust cane, as in the case of the previously I explained with CO8032 in case of yellow leaf virus. And here, whatever the parameters we have recorded, either the case of the cane growth or cane yield, and also the physiological parameter, that time I have estimated the CO2 assimilation rate, and almost there is a significant difference between all these growth parameters and also the yield. So the coming to the other virus, that is least known virus, leaf flug caused by sugarcane basiliform virus. So this one was reported long back from SBI, 1996, I reported the virus based on electron microscopic studies. But after that, limited work has been done, and recently we have completely characterized the genome of the virus, that is sugarcane bacilliform virus. But this is what I found, this disease occurring throughout the country. No place is the virus is free, including our reserve blossom. And this is how you will see the symptoms. The flux, what I mentioned, that leaf flux means you will see, if you those familiar with the BO91, so the variety is there in almost all the places. You can see that variety is having 100%. Most of the leaves will exhibit the symptoms, and like that I found this virus present in Andhra very much. Almost many of the varieties are exhibiting the disease. You can see this is how either it may also, in severe cases, it leading to reddening. If from chlorotic flux, it will turn to yellow and then finally red. So this is how the earlier people got confused, and many times they referred this to some like a copper deficiency. Many claims were made. So without knowing the fact, so many claims were being made. And recently only whomever contacted me, and even now ASRP centers, and many of them are equipped to identify the virus disease in the recently. And this how this recently in 2019, again the International Sugar Journal, this was reported based on molecular confirmation also. We have reported this detailed aspect of the symptomatology of the disease. And overall, we have been discussed, I mentioned about varietal degeneration in different cases, in case of mosaic or in case of yellow leaf disease. In a grassy shoot also it occurs. There it is quite obvious. If grassy shoot disease there, you will see that chlorotic leaves, there is no cane formation. But whereas when I mentioned about varietal degeneration, you will see again the cane formation, but it will be a degenerated cane, that is without, that is total loss of vigor. So that's what we are seeing here. So all the three major viruses, sugarcane mosaic virus, sugarcane streak mosaic virus, and sugarcane yellow leaf virus, all the three viruses are affected. So this is the variety which I have used for the studies, COJ64, that is a popular variety used for hybridization purpose in our national hybridization garden. But what happened, this variety degenerates very quickly, and that's how you see this overall phenotype. And there maybe in due course of the time, there will be no flowering. So even you can see the healthy one, and there is the affected one that show the poor cane growth. So this is what in the case earlier also I mentioned for other varieties. But then what has made this again, we have conducted a detailed study, and the another important finding in this whatever it is, growth reduction, physiological impact, everything is almost same. When there is a degeneration means there is a total loss of cane yield and also juice yield. But additionally, what we found and how it happens, what is the synergistic effect? If there are more than one viruses are there, this degeneration is very fast. So this is what the new, when you don't replace the seed, healthy seed, what happens? One after another, the viruses are getting infected, and then that leads to degeneration. So this is what ultimately the real-time PCR studies very clearly indicated. The apparently healthy one are asymptomatic plants. So they do have the virus, but the virus titer is very low. Whereas this degenerated one, the multifold virus titer. So this is what you can see in the slide, where you can see these apparently healthy plants, where it is close to negative. Almost you can see those who are familiar with real-time PCR. So you can see that CT value is more than 32. So that means they are almost close to negative. Whereas in this case of virus, the mosaic and yellow leaf affected ones, you can see multifold virus titer. It may be 143 times or 208 times or 173 times of sugarcane streak mosaic virus. So this is a multifold virus titer. So this is what we have found in this particular variety, and it almost similar in other cases also. Then the other varieties also we have found, but this for one particular variety I am explaining. So this is how the degeneration means the total loss of vigor. And coming to the next part of the topic, that is lecture on the integrated management. And these are the important criteria, these strategies we have to follow. And first and foremost, disease surveillance and growing resistant varieties. This is the standard recommendation. We rely still on resistant varieties, and you further discuss in another slide. And ratoon management, seed selection and nursery programs, and wherever possible chemical and biological control. And these are the important strategies. And other thing, these are the agronomical management you have to do, like field sanitation, roguing, crop rotation, and harvest management. These are the issues we have to address under field condition. And surveillance is very, very important, where this particular person who is involved in that, he or she should be able to clearly distinguish between this abiotic stress like deficiency and grassy shoot, or like that between grassy shoot and smut, and between YLD and other chlorosis. So we should not, the person who is involved in this work task should not confuse himself. There will be so much of closely or overlapping symptoms between disease symptoms, especially micronutrient deficiency symptoms, and to some extent there is insect damage. So that is the first and foremost we need, and major thrust should be on the seed. So I mentioned very clearly varietal degeneration in sugarcane. It is happening every place. Not a single factory area is free from this problem. And whatever now, as in the first slide I mentioned that increasing the profit, unless you address the disease problem, you can never achieve the profit of the making sugarcane as a profitable crop. Why? You should also think that many places they are pulling out sugarcane. Why? So that is where the degeneration has been a major factor. Unless you replace the variety of equal performance, it will be difficult for you to continue sugarcane. So that's what that status of seed health, that is what that decides the crop health. And for that what we need is a healthy seed nursery program. So this you take this particular effect, you make focus your attention. So this is what normally happens in the factory areas. So everything looks like, everything looks attractive. So much people will be assume, they will be very happy to receive seed like that and they plant. But really, if you see whether the seeds have been cut from the healthy field, no, not at all. This is the problem. Wherever I have seen, and nowhere there is a practically they may make a few places serious efforts will be there. Otherwise, the seed even today, they know the healthy seed means rarely I found, very rarely I found. And another, that's what our focus should be on the healthy seed. And this treatment is another important. Not that many places I found just as a cosmetic work, like just dipping. What for? Mere dipping is not at all sufficient. And if you are this is one opportunity, that is delivering your biocontrol agents or fungicides or insecticides or nutrients, so that this is a great vehicle and you can utilize. And that, of course, we will discuss on that further. And this disease management in ratoons, and many of you will agree that especially the agronomists, that ratoon yield is poor in India. It is poor not because of anything else. The variety is having equal potential to give plant and ratoon crop yield, but only we make them to be the ratoon is a poor yielder. So like that, like many cases, if you go to sugarcane field, you can see this is the how peculiar cases you can see. Either it may be red rot or wilt, or like the plant crop you have wilt, and your ratoon establishment will be affected. The same case with red rot, and you can see the grass issue. Irrespective of the place, everywhere this problem is there. So that's how there are a lot of gappy patches are there. And in the case of red rot, I have closely monitored many fields, and ratoon crops, even the establishment itself poor due to this plant crop. There was red rot, but still they are continuing, and finally end up in losing 30% or 40% of the crop losses. This is a situation in upland conditions, and in, that's why I mentioned in UP, Eastern UP, where nearly 100% crop losses was noticed. So that's what the disease severity increases in ratoons. So to manage the disease in ratoon, you cannot do anything. You have to manage the disease in the plant crop. When you plant crop, if you manage, definitely you will have a healthy ratoon crops. And again, that seed selection and that's it, heat treatment. And these are the things, aerated steam therapy or MH, moist hot air therapies are in vogue. But I don't recommend these things for the current scenario, since they are not effective against viral diseases, and also not totally effective against ratoon stunting disease or grassy shoot disease. They inactivate the pathogen, that is grassy shoot phytoplasmas and the RSD bacteria. They are not totally eliminating the pathogens. So that's why we recommend meristem culture derived tissue culture method for the total elimination. This is an important intervention SBI has taken up, and it is all not only that, the private sugar mills also, they are having tissue culture plants, laboratories are there, they are equipped to produce several lakhs of seedlings. And this is one intervention government of India has made through Department of Biotechnology, that is to recognize tissue, that is virus indexing. This is the national certification system for tissue culture raised plants. So through that they have recognized many of the research institutes for virus indexing. So this is what that accreditation they gave to SBI in 2008. So then onwards we have made these efforts, and already since we have standardized molecular techniques like RT-PCR or PCR based diagnostics for the viral diseases. So we have found, so these are the techniques we have developed, and then by that we were able to give the service to different tissue culture production units in the country. And now IISR Lucknow is also an accredited lab, and currently that is the only accredited lab. And since now DBT has discontinued and said that they said that you are all fairly equipped, and that's how now we are continuing the service as institute service. So that's how even now we are providing the service to tissue culture laboratories. But one thing I found, many factories are not giving importance to this, but this is one area where the industry should take up. That is, we are ready to provide the service, and this is how you can see that for a major, the people are interested to go for yellow leaf virus and grass shoot phytoplasma. So that's why you can see more number of samples are tested for these two pathogens. So this is how this next intervention we have made the Sugarcane Breeding Institute, and actually this is an important technology as I mentioned in the set treatment. So this mechanized set treatment. So this is the one which we have already commercialized. So now this set treatment device, many of the ASRP centers also installed, and this ideally this was developed to diffuse fungicides in sufficient concentration to manage set-borne diseases, especially red rot, smut, and wilt. So this is how this simple device. So with only the mechanism is negative pressure apply, that we apply vacuum after sets are dipped in the fungicide solution, and then we apply vacuum and release the air slowly, and so that it favored infiltration or diffusion of fungicide in sufficient quantities inside the sets. So this is how it was initially when the concept was we have conceptualized this methodology, and then device was this you can see this treatment device being developed in collaboration with the CII Bhopal, that is regional station Coimbatore, and we have conducted field trials under field endemic locations where we have used 100% smut affected canes. So there you can see this crop survival. And here we can see that mechanized treatment plus drip delivery of the fungicide propiconazole, we could say get a healthy crop at the time of harvest compared to this almost this even very poor crop in that for 4-month crop. And totally you can see the slide also what is the overall yield per plot, almost more than nearly 2.5 times higher yield we got after the treatment. So this is how we established that once this effective delivery of the fungicide through sets, it was helping even this infected crop also we were able to reduce the disease. And not only this intervention is for disease management, and also for healthy nurseries also we have standardized with many other sugar factories also came forward to standardize optimizing different inputs, mostly a fungicide, insecticide, urea, and other nutrients. So this was here in this case, we have tried Superlime, urea, and carbendazim. And even the demonstration was also arranged in Pune Sugars and also in Shakti Sugars Modakuruchi, where we have installed that first unit was installed by this factory. So this is how the technology was popularized, and many sugar factories are already purchased this unit for seed treatment. This is an important intervention we made, and it is actually a promising technology to meet the at least that to manage the disease under field conditions. So that is what now this not only that, this once now you have virus free seed and the seed treatment device, and both are almost integrated in many of the nursery areas. So that's how you see that healthy nurseries, that seedlings are produced in many factory areas. So this is how where probably you must have heard the lectures from our crop improvement division, and there this healthy seed is produced, and then where the seed requirement has been reduced. So this is the faster way of replacing a new variety. And the only thing, the emphasis should be always there, it should be virus-free seed. So this coming to the impact, what is about the impact of the nursery? You can see the same 8032 which was totally degenerated, and you can see you can appreciate that even settling planted fields. So that uniform growth, this is what the vigor, that's what the last vigor has been restored. And even the 5th month crop, you can see such a vigor. Even this is the first demonstration trial we have conducted in the Hero district, where even 10 years before my trial we have conducted in Apakudal, and then you can increase the yield over. This is all not totally virus free, that is nurseries adopted villages. So that's how we have seen increased yield. That's how the factories also adopted. So from this condition, that was in 2016 also, there is epidemic case, and then but the same cases wherever nursery program was implemented, you can see there is a healthy crop. So this is how we were able to demonstrate under different factory areas. And this case, their factory area, Rajshri Sugar, they have taken up it long back. In 2009 itself, they have adopted this nursery. That's why the large scale virus-free crop of CO8032 was grown. You can see quick close-up symptom. So this is the typical phenotype of CO8032 that was restored through meristem culture combined with virus indexing. None of our seedlings are going there without indexing. So we always ensure that these seedlings are totally free from the virus. It's not only tissue culture. You have to certify that they are free from the virus and grass-issued phytoplasma. So this probably that we have shown earlier also in many of my presentations. You can see the time of harvest also, you can see a green crop, and that is because there is a luxuriant growth. So this is what that particular field in that Successors Unit 4, they have recorded 250 tons per hectare. So that's what the same variety you can achieve very high yield, provided you are able to provide a good seed with care. So this is how when we talk about the profit, how the same field, the adjacent farmer may be getting 60 tons per acre, but this farmer got 100 tons. So this is how that where is the input may be same in both fields. But when you are having virus-free crop, you are assured of getting higher yield. If not 100 tons per acre, many of the farmers adopted the nursery, they got more than 90 tons. So same situation in other factory areas where they were the first to take up the healthy nursery program in Puni Sugars, and you can see the quality of the seedlings, that's the seedlings produced there. And this is what the crop also luxuriant growth they have shown us based on the nursery program. So that even they have found that increased yield by adopting this nursery program. So these are how even the success story was reported in ICR News 2 years back. So they saw that most this probably it is wherever possible we are advocating this technology for at least faster implementation to increase the profitability. But also I have to warn these people in this field that unscientific multiplication is happening rampantly in many places, and that again, as I mentioned earlier, that all the diseases, whatever I mentioned, the degeneration, like yellow leaf or grassy shoot or mosaic, are there everywhere. And but that's why, but many places they just multiply 1 crore seedlings or 2 crore seedlings, but really the quality is we cannot assure. So it has to be monitored properly. Our industry has to take. These are the things I have found in many places. These are all these, you can see the seedlings planted. So even first the primary infection. So there is a loss of the crop to grassy shoot and OLD. So this is what the scientific intervention is required. And another thing is the varietal management. So this is what actually this one part, those who are frequently visiting the factory areas, you will admit that yes, there is a varietal mixture. So this is very commonly reported in all the places. North or south, it happens, it's everywhere. So what is the impact? What happens? So invariably, whatever in many situations I found, And for example, this case, this is CO 8032. This is another variety, CO 95020, affected by red rot. So only CO 8032 was remained free from the disease in the particular field, and similar observation I made in many other places also. So we are perpetuating inoculum. I mentioned the same thing in case of brown spot, where the CO 0265 is highly susceptible, and we are maintaining the variety in the industry area and making it slowly all other varieties, including CO 8032, slowly getting infection. Same case with rust and red rot. No doubt it is soil borne, and so the inoculum remain in the soil for some months. So easily it gradually adapts to the new variety. This experimentally also I have demonstrated. In the same case here, you can see mix up of two different varieties, again with virus, without virus, and like that. This especially this issue on red rot management through varietal management, and this has been our core actually activity at the sugarcane breeding in SBI. So probably many of you know that the SBI's major mandate is to develop new varieties, and also germplasm maintenance and screening are identifying resistant sources. And from the day one, that was CO 205 was released for commercial cultivation in Punjab in 1918, and from then onwards so many varieties have been released. And in this particular paper I have reviewed whatever happened over the decades. And what happened, this even after within 2 years or 3 years, this variety 205 got red rot, and then onwards slowly almost, though these all hybrid varieties gave a boom to sugarcane cultivation, red rot also picked up, especially in 1938. That's why still people have referred that is a very drastic yield decline, and many factories could not be run during that epidemics for 3 seasons. So that was the variety affected was CO 213. That was the variety like what we are seeing in case of 238, and like that. So though we are replacing the varieties, and what even after every or each epidemic, new varieties we have replaced. And as I mentioned earlier, no variety stood in the field. I can say only BO91. This is the only variety which remains in the field for nearly 15 years. That is the only variety where I have found no breakdown. Varietal breakdown has not occurred, and all others varieties have succumbed. And this is what even probably that inaugural lecture, the inaugural address also, our Honorable DDG has mentioned that vertifolia effect. So this is what we have witnessed, a very clear boom and bust cycle in case of red rot. And so this is where what is the reason? The reason is domination of a single variety. So this is what he has mentioned as vertifolia effect. So again, it has again combined with congenial environment for the disease spread, like flood during monsoon, and also the situation which has favored epidemic occurrence of the diseases. But nevertheless, we have found that even today, red rot can be managed only through varietal resistance. So that's why almost across the states, people are working on that. Whatever we have developed, that's a treatment device, that is to manage. That is when there is a breakdown, that we have technology, both biocontrol agents or these fungicides, that can be used till a new variety replaces. So this is how that this varietal resistance is not only for red rot, other diseases also. But here why I make emphasis on red rot, here only we have found varietal breakdown. So very frequently we have to replace the variety. And coming to the last part of my presentation and summary, and I don't know whether I was able to justify all, since I have left deliberately, I have left many areas, since for want of time I have not focused on other areas. And since, but these are the major areas I wanted to cover. So the first the take home message should be like the minor diseases, or many diseases are no longer minor diseases. Like Pokobong I mentioned, it is becoming another disease, a major disease in some varieties, if not all. Red stripe, rust, brown spot, these are all became minor diseases, but they are all some places, if not all places, it has become severe in maybe in isolated cases, as like mentioned, brown spot in North Karnataka and Maharashtra, that is western Maharashtra with the high rainfall areas. and that severe, that ruling varieties were severely affected. So what the need of the hour is to reject such varieties at a very early stage. So that's how we have to replace such varieties quickly. So that's how we can reduce the inoculum spread to other varieties. But the second and the most important one, all these major fungal diseases like red rot, smut, and wilt, still they pose concern to sugarcane cultivation, if not in all places, and many, especially major places like subtropical region. I found that is a major concern, and where we have to focus on how to prevent these diseases. So these are the emphasis should be there on managing these diseases through host resistance. I still recommend that host resistance is the major strategy we have to adopt. So, but we cannot prevent emergence of new pathotype, but we can slow down, or we can reduce the virulence of the new pathotype. Whatever the new pathotype which has emerged, they are highly virulent. Now, whatever the isolate which we have isolated from 0238, it was knocking down any variety. So that's how now super strain, very virulent strain has emerged. So this issue we have to really focus. And same scenario which we have found in 1990s. When COC 671 we found this super virulent strain. So that's why that time our resistance in our feasibility or other breeding population was so low, because the virulence was very high. So like that, this is, we have found that super virulent strain has come. But so our focus is to reduce the virulence. We cannot prevent the emergence of the new pathotype. So as like coronavirus, the new pathogens will go, or new strains of the virus are here in case of the fungi will come, but we can manage by varietal strategic deployment of varieties. And next to varietal breakdown, this another, this the two major emphasis I always emphasize in my presentation. One is on varietal breakdown, where the breeders, they have to take very seriously on varietal breakdown. Very casual approach will not solve the problem. That's why we are witnessing the problem for the past 100 years or more. Though we say that we have addressed this, but we are continues to address this thing. We are not managed. The reason is that we are releasing a variety which succumbs very quickly, and field adaptation is also not scientifically we adapt the varieties. So that is, so history is there that no, we cannot blame one or other, but that's what has happened. And varietal degeneration here, if you see the many countries, developed countries, they don't keep the varieties for years or decades. So that's what, they just quickly within, they say that maximum 5 years or 6 years a field life of a variety. So they know there is a varietal degeneration. They don't talk like this in the lectures. So they quickly dispose these varieties, introduce new varieties. So we have to change our strategy. That means that varietal development and also identification of new sources. So that's how now you have tissue culture and other nurseries. So you can rapidly multiply new varieties and to avoid varietal degeneration. So this is the two important area, and otherwise you are losing the yield potential. So that's what we are losing nearly to 40% to 30% of the cane yield due to degeneration, especially in ratoon crops. So when we talk about multi-ratooning, unless you focus on varietal regeneration, you cannot recommend any multi-ratooning. So this is how now the other important areas also we have to study. There is a abiotic stress. Yes, definitely the abiotic stresses also playing major role on non-fungal diseases, especially the vector-borne diseases. So we should work on that vector dynamics also, and also in the host resistance. And this, as I mentioned in detail, and this is the technology, a proven technology, that meristem culture, this should be adapted across the states. No place there should not, you see, probably some of you must have not seen the people face from Maharashtra. And there are millions of seedlings are produced every year in Maharashtra. Tissue culture seedlings are not, we cannot say there is no tissue culture seedlings. But what is the impact? Whether it is being adapted in the field that is commercial, maybe they may be using for commercial planting. I know that many factories have adapting, and they have told me that minimum they get minimum 10 tons higher yield when they adapt virus-free plant, that is tissue culture materials. But it has not spread almost across the districts. So this is what now for so many years VSI is doing this and doing the service, but it has not been translated in the field. So this is how, already we have scientists are working, institute is working, but under field condition, it has not been translated. And scenario is same in other, maybe it's like there in Tamil Nadu due to SBI, there is a lot of awareness is there. And then this bio-intensive approach. I was mentioning about wilt and the impact of wilt, but wilt can be managed only by managing the soil problems. Either you have to reduce the abiotic stress factor, or you have to increase the antagonistic load in the rhizosphere. The inoculum will remain in the soil for several years. So only way is already the proven technology is there. We have also recommended, and Navsari also they have recommended. And that's what that it is easy to multiply the trichoderma in pressment. And this so the another thing, by introducing this organic source with the trichoderma, that is also increase the soil organic content. So once you make our better, that ensures the better root growth and better nutrient absorption, and also reduce the stress from different pathogens. So these are the things, which, as we mentioned, that integrated approach means it should be a totally integrated approach. Not a single approach will help. So that farmers, many times we say that farmer, if he knows all the production and protection technologies, so that is where that what we need is we have to integrate into the cropping system. That is whatever that I have mentioned earlier. And now, like the improved fungicide and input delivery, so simple set treatment device, they have found that even they can manage smart and retort in UP already. They have used this in many factories. They have used. So like that, wherever the problem is there, we have to use these interventions. And this last one is not. It is even scope. It gives scope for future research also. That is when you talk about targeted yield or increasing profit of the farmers or doubling the farmers, it is not the variety. It is a better term. You can see varietal management. It can be a production technology or protection technology of maybe managing micronutrient stress or managing the root system or managing pests or diseases. And whatever the constraints are there, we have to manage the varieties. By managing a variety in a better way, we will be definitely able to achieve the targeted yield. And thank you for patient hearing. And with this, I conclude my talk. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for this lovely presentation. Are there any queries? Please ask.
Sir, wireless disease is becoming prominent in Kolhapur region this year. Is it due to high doses of fertilizers, especially nitrogen?
No. When I mentioned the yellow leaf disease, so I mentioned the disease with very clear symptoms. Whatever the phenotypic symptoms are there, it is not caused by any other agent. It is not a nutrient or whatever it is. So this is how we have seen. So that Kolhapur, this problem is, I know the problem for the last 10-15 years. The problem has not been addressed. That's what I mentioned just before conclusion. The Maharashtra is the state where the largest number of seedlings are produced and supplied. But I am not seeing the field. People everywhere they report OLD, but the reason is that they are not using healthy seed. So we are perpetuating the disease throughout the country. That's what I have seen. OLD and grassy shoot, that is GSD, both are there in.
Why yellow leaf spot?
Yeah, yellow leaf.
Yellow leaf spot.
Yellow leaf is there. That's what it is all set bone. No, but the set bone.
Spots, sir. Spots.
Pardon?
Yellow leaf spots, sir. Wireless.
Yeah. That yellow leaf is there. It is transmitted. It is a primary infection is through seed. So you are not using healthy seed. You use healthy seed, which as I mentioned in my demo, even on my trials. So if you use healthy seed, definitely you will get a virus-free crop. You can see, you yourself can observe if there is a very distinct difference between the virus-free crop and virus-affected crop.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question? Sir, there is one question in chat.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yes.
please ask your question.
May I audible?
Yes, yes.
I have already. Sir, I'm Swagatika from Odisha. I just want to know, sir, if one cane is affected from red rot and as well as from wilt, So
Yeah.
how to culture from that cane, sir? From that particular cane, I need to isolate the two pathogen. So is there any particular procedure to follow?
No, actually the procedure is very simple. You mentioned that is combined infection of red rat and
Yes.
wilt. You will get only wilt.
Yes.
That red rat, most of the case, when you see the combined infection, by the time you
Yes.
see go for isolation, the inoculum load of red rat will be reduced by Fusarium saccari. So you will see, you will get only Fusarium saccari from the culture, from the tissue bits. So to isolate red rat, you have to take the wilt-free canes, red rat alone. That's what is required.
Okay.
Okay.
That I need.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sir, there is a question in chat.
Okay.
Oka bowing brown leaf spots and rust disease is becoming severe in northern Karnataka.
Yeah.
COA 0265 is affecting severely brown leaf spots.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, this problem I mentioned during my presentation also. And now this is how that is here. The simple solution is varietal management. But when the variety is susceptible, we have to remove the variety. Now, actually, sugarcane is very easy. The disease management is much easier by managing the varieties. You know that I mentioned that CO M0265 is highly susceptible to brown spot. So, the epidemic occurrence we have already know. Actually, in the Kolhapur region, the variety was gone up to 60%. Due to this epidemic occurrence, the variety area has come down drastically. They have removed the variety, so the problem, the variety is cultivated in upland conditions of Ahmednagar and other districts, not in the Kolhapur region. The high rainfall areas is congenial for the disease development. So the variety has to be almost, you should not allow the variety to be cultivated in that region. That is the only solution. We should not recommend fungicides or anything in such for such disease. Okay.
Thank you, sir.